Don't forget, if y'all are not following the YouTube channel, make sure you follow that YouTube channel so you can see these posts. If you're not in this elite Fortune Group important information, all you have to do is click on the link in the other group chat and it will take you to it. This link right here, it'll take you to it. I didn't get everybody. Some people I couldn't find. But anyways, let's get to charting. So first thing what you want to do, pull up this Forex Factory. Let's see what we got going on in the news tomorrow or tonight. All right, so we got the Swiss that's going to have some high impact. We got the Great Britain pound that's going to have some impact tomorrow in the morning. Retail sales is always there. All right, so let's take a look at some Swiss and some Great Britain pound. Woo! If y'all got questions about anything, just let me know. Or if you want to put it in the chat, just go ahead and chat it. Hopefully I'll see it. Ooh, ooh. All right. Oh man, let me show y'all this USD JPY. I haven't even looked at it today. Hurt my feelings. I think I put it in the chat. Just busted outside my little bubble. All right. Anyways, we're going to some Swiss. Let's see what the pound Swiss. All right. So when you guys start charting up, start with your 1 day. And we're looking for support and resistance. So you just want to find some touches. So I'll click here, do my horizontal line. We got one right there. You might get some good Swiss news going on tomorrow. All right, we have another here. And remember, guys, these aren't exact points. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean by that. So remember, always add your text so you know what you're doing.
PD, is that your music?
Oh, you can hear that?
Yes.
I gotta feed the streets. All right, so we have a daily support and resistance right there. All right, so as you can see, we're at one of our dailies. Now that we have that, let's go ahead, dive down to 4 hours. Can you still hear it?
You're good.
All right, so of course, you see some things broke the support and resistance. So I'm not trying to make this a support and resistance line because it's just one down there. It happened to break the support and resistance, and it just finished down here and came back. But as you can see, it came back and tested right here again. That's how I know it's the support and resistance. This was just a break. Now remember, this is really your support and resistance is really like right here. So, that should be your support and resistance box, not the line. But I'm going to do everything that you need to do when starting out with charts. And as you get better at it, there's a couple things that you can get by without doing. I know this stuff is tedious and boring, but it'll pay. It'll pay a lot. And once you do it one time, you shouldn't have to do it again for a little while, at least. All right, so we can go all the way down to an hour. So of course, the lower the time frame, the least amount of pips that you're talking about. But an hour is still some good pip getting. That news might come in handy. Let's make this green. So do you guys see how it's setting up for that news tomorrow?
You mean how the price is rising?
Well, how it tests on the line. We don't know whether it's going to rise or fall, but usually when some news comes, it's going to sit there at a support and resistance.
Okay, and then it'll determine whether it's going to rise or drop.
Correct. Based off the news.
Right.
That Bombay and lemonade. Oops. Only one where are my other labels? You guys can be copying and creating your own charts while I'm doing this. All right, so now I have enough labels on here. Of course, you can get down as low as you want. So now I know the news is coming out tomorrow, so I want to watch this for 3:30 a.m. We might have some movement. So that's the London session for that Swiss. So all I want to do is start putting some more marks here. So let's put an Elliott wave on it. Hold on. Got some there. All right. Let me see. All right, now that I have that, I just want to make some waves. So, Lamont.
Yes, sir.
Remember when you were asking me about adding the Fibonacci? So if you want to start getting more precise, you would take your first Fibonacci and go from here to here. All right. So I'm there. And you would come over here, grab yourself another Fibonacci. From here to here. Grab yourself another fib. From here to there. All right, so now we could eliminate the fibs that don't matter. You have to go back through each individual one. So like, we want to keep the 61.8s. But once we get up here in the cluttered, I can zoom in a little more. So I see that I have my support and resistance right here. I don't really care about this fib right here, so I can delete that one. I think I gotta go back. Yeah, I do. What number is that? 3309. 33. Let me see a 3309.
Real quick, why did you draw it all the way up into the right-hand corner instead of from the high to the low?
I mean, it is at the 5. I just spreaded it out to the side. So you see it all stopped up here at the 5.
Okay.
I just moved it over.
All right, cool.
Now I can't see my damn numbers.
Yeah, I had to
So
change
like
them.
Yeah, this 31.82, this can go. All right. Where's price currently at? This one. What number was that? 236. Go. Those two can stay. 50 can stay. Oh, no. So what you're looking for are like the numbers to overlap. So you see how I have the support and resistance right here and the support and resistance right here. So I have price to sit right here. I could play this one because this is my 1 hour support and resistance. This is my daily support and resistance. Of course, daily is going to be stronger than a 1 hour, but these are pips in here to catch. Now, when we did those extra Fibonacci's, like I don't care about the Fibonacci's that are sitting right here in the middle. So I took those out because essentially, remember I told you that it's really a box. What is your support and resistance? So with the Fibonacci plus my support and resistance, I understand that the box should be right here. So if multiple Fibonacci's lined up right near each other, I know that's my support and resistance box. So as I'm sitting down here looking, like, all right, I'm here. You see how they're lining up right there with it? I don't know what the hell its red is. All right, so this red can kind of go. This one, no. 61.8. I don't know. Trying to get one that is 68.6. It won't put me on the other. Put me on the same damn one. All right. I don't know which one this is though. I get rid of this. Let's see. Nope. Nope. All right. I think it's that one. That can go off. That can go off. That stays on. That stays on. All right. So I'm just trying to clean up the Fibonacci's that we made so it's not as cluttered. You can really see. All right, so now we have that. We have our Fibonacci. You see, this is our 1 hour support and resistance. We have a lot of the Fibonacci going on right here, which is why you see a lot of spiking going on right through here. So if I highlight this box, so like this would be your entry point when it hits this daily, and down here would be your stop loss. Now, I personally want to wait for this news come out. They're talking about.
Travis, can you say that again? Where you was pointing?
Say that again.
Can you say that one more time when you were explaining with that box what would have been your support? I mean, what would have been your entry, your stop loss?
I'm saying so this is my 1 hour support and resistance right here, right? Mm-hmm. And Fibonacci all occurred right in here. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, this is my daily support and resistance, is blue line. And that's what I want to use more than the 1 hour, daily stronger. So Fibonacci all happened right around here on my daily, right?
Right.
So I want to say once it touches my daily, of course you want to see which way it's going to break first for your next 3 candles. Then you would either get into the buy or the sell. But the same way, so this would be my stop loss if I was getting into a buy. So it's saying about 45 pips would be my stop loss. 46 to be on the safe side. All right, so that would be my stop loss right there. But if it was the other way around, all right, and I was putting in a sell, this would be my stop loss. But of course, I need to see, since it's up here already, it needs to break my support and resistance, all right, and then come back to test it again. Like if it just breaks down here, I don't want to get into that trade because I don't know what's going on unless it's coming down here to touch a fib. So if it came down, broke through here to touch this 50 fib right here, all right, then I would go ahead and get a buy because it should touch it and go back up. But at any time when we're working with these, you know, we're expecting it to touch this fib and go back up. So if it doesn't, all right, I'm risking like 18 pips because that's telling me I'm wrong. Get me out of this trade right now. All right, so we're going to keep watching this one. I'll put it in the chat. So when I put these in the chat, if I put it in like this to show you the picture, or if I put it in the other way, because I think somebody might have edited mine, man. That's my chart all up. Which one is it? What is that? GBP CHF. All right. So we did GBP CHF. Let's look at USD CHF. Roll up, yes, down. All right. USD. We're going to look at the United States dollar versus the Swiss. That did not come out right. USD CHF. All right, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back to a day. He's already on this one. Yeah, I guess I was looking at this one already. So you see I got some daily support and resistance. Yep. Oh, I'm sweet. Where the rest of my markets? So since we're working in this zone, so you see how big daily support and resistance is? You're talking about 700 pips. But let's go down to 4 hours, see what we got. All right. I have some support and resistance right here. Now remember, you might see something differently than me, but we should all be around in the same area. Might be about 20 pip difference, but that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Sorry, I've been trying to keep up with my legend. Can't remember which one was daily, which one. That's why I put my text. We're gonna clone that. All right. So, and this will help you too if you guys add these, so you can really see what's going on. So like when you're doing homework and stuff like that, like this is how you should do it, because now I can see what you're talking about. Like I know why you put this bubble here if I could get this thing to move. All right, so you can move this around, put it on your areas, and put your rectangle so you know that you're doing a zone, not a line, but a zone. I don't feel like marking all those up, but you know this is 4 hour support. Let me just mark it. That's good. When I got it on cloud nine. Like I said, as you get used to this, you won't have to do as much. It'll just flow and fly real fast. You should be able to chart up like 15 pairs in 2 hours. And then you're just watching it, setting up alerts or triggers.
Karen, to answer your question, yes. So like support and resistance is based on like where your wicks kind of touch the line.
Oh, I didn't answer your question. Yes, correct. You definitely want wick touches. Like wick touches are the best. All right, 1 hour. All right, let's see what we got. See that bad boy right there, like to the wick touches. To the wick. Right there, to the wick. All right, but anyway, so now we're looking at 1 hour. Well, with this one, I really wouldn't play with 1 hour. Let me see how many pips. Are you talking about 100 pips between each? So I wouldn't go any lower with this in a 4 hour chart. Of course, you can. Don't get me wrong. Like you could do this same stuff at 30 minutes or 15 minutes, because as you can see, there's support and resistance here at 30 minutes. All right, there's a support and resistance right there in 30 minutes, and then I see another one right here. But see, you can play that, but you're talking about 30 pips if you play that. So it's up to you how you want to do that part. All right, now, but I'm going to stay with this 4 hour. This one's tricky. Is it on an uptrend or a downtrend?
So Travis, with this pitchfork, what you're doing is you're touching two like high and low points, and then like with the, I don't even know what to call that other piece, like the little piece at the end. Like basically all you're doing is you're matching each point to like a high and a low, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to figure out where the price is going within the shaded areas.
Correct. See, I need everything to hit to a pip when you're using pitchforks, or else the fork ain't right. So, like, I can't get this fork to work, so I can't force the fork. Damn it. Got her. Okay. So see, now I got the fork on it. With a pitchfork, you want to swing high and a swing low, and you want to make sure the tail is on another swing low. So I have that attached to the swing low. I have a swing high, got a swing low, and I have a test on my median of my pitchfork, and tested it and came down.
Is that a requirement?
Say that again?
Is that a requirement to use the pitchfork? Like there has to be a test on that medium line, on that middle line?
Well, there's a lot to a pitchfork, honestly. But you want it to test on either this median or one of the edges. So, but this is a buy pitchfork, right? So, like, you really shouldn't put any sell trades in while you're trading this pitchfork, because let's say if price was up here on this pitchfork and you think, okay, it's touching it, it's going to come down, right? Which, yes, that is true. It is going to come down this pitchfork. But let's say we got in here, price is up here. We put a sell trade in because we thought it was going to come down this pitchfork. Let me see if I can get me a tool. Oh, yeah. Tool's right here. All right. So we're saying that price is here. It's going to come down this pitchfork. We're thinking a sell because it's going to drop. It hit the top of our pitchfork. Well, look, it could come here. Then, it could drop here. Test off that line, which is our support and resistance. All right. Come test at our daily, which is right here, and just bounce back and forth, right? So we put a sell trade in, and all of a sudden it goes back, breaks our daily again, and it comes back up, test our line again, and it comes down, all the way down the pitchfork, right? And it comes, test here, which we had our sell. Yes, we're still moving, but if you don't notice, it's really riding our pitchfork. So if you test in the middle, test here, and next thing you know, we're back up here, and then we could be here, and it's just dancing around, come here, and then it'll break our pitchfork out of here. But if you notice, you put a sell trade in because you said it was going to go out of the pitchfork down here, which it did, but it went out of the pitchfork all the way up here on a buy pitchfork. So you're talking that you would have lost, well, for this one, you would have lost 5 pips. But for like your USD JPYs, the ones that have big one, that could have been like 80, 90 pips that you'd lose because you're on a buying pitchfork. If we had a sell trade in which this could move to a sell, so we don't chase it. That's the thing about it. You don't want to chase the money. So like this pitchfork's here, I have these trades in. I'm just gonna leave it alone and set alerts until price gets to me. I don't want to chase it. So like I don't see enough movement in there right now to look at anything yet. Like you could play these support and resistance, but like I said, this one you're talking about, this is 100 pips. So if you want to play 100 pips, you could. We could dive down into it. But see, this is in consolidation. I don't really like the consolidation thing. But you can play this. You see, you could have got in here and go. And it's the same thing. So if we were playing this one, let me see. See, this isn't even, I can't even put an Elliott wave on this because your swing low is kind of almost at your previous swing low. I don't know which way this is going. I wouldn't get into this trade unless it came back down here and touched, or either it came up here and touched. It's too far gone for me to jump back into this trade. But as you can see, it's a lot of 30-minute support and resistance right here. So if you were trading on well, this is 5 minutes. So you can put your support and resistance here, here, another there. And that's how they're getting their take profits. Their take profits 1, 2, and 3. It's just support and resistance line. We could even throw some Fibonacci on it for the retracement. Retracement. Right. Where's that? 68.5. Taking it off. Pointless. And so you see like these two Fibonacci's lined up, so that's a strong zone right there. This is a strong zone right here. And do a smaller one here. So if you were trading these little ones right here, you could, it's all up to you, but these are the options of how you could go about trading based off your time. Like if you want to trade for 4 or 5 pips, you can. Like there's somebody in the group, in the Facebook, one of the bigger Facebook group, Dr. Kathy, she trades for 10 pips. She calls it 10 pips and dip. So there's different trading plans that you can come about and do. It's just your preference. But I wouldn't trade this. This is not right here. I would trade some of this because you're talking, you get a quick 30 pips, which we've all lost 30 pips quickly. So a quick 30 pips can happen. But once again, I would not get into it until it comes to me. Like the 50 marker right here, spread this out. So a 50 in Fibonacci is still important no matter where it's at. It's like 61.8. So you can see it's possibly that it could come test on this line and then shoot back up. That's 20 pips. So like if you were to get into this trade, I wouldn't have any more than not rectangle. All right. I'm expecting it right here, so it might be my zone where I'm not planning on it to go any further. So you're talking 5 pips, 6 pips. That would be my risk. And if it goes past 6 pips, just take me out. Now remember, when they come, if it has broken the zone for the first time, whatever your support and resistance line is, whatever your zone is, when it breaks it for the first time, you know, that is a trade that you could put in. It's a little riskier, but you want it to break it and come back and test it. So if you look at any of these, like you see it came down here, but it never came back to test it again. It came back and broke back up. And when it broke back up, it came and tested. It came and tested. It broke down. Now when it finally broke down, oh, it didn't test it. It pump faked us. So you see, that's not a test. Don't confuse that. It came down and went back up. But this time, it finally broke through. It came back, it tested, it came down to our next zone. And now it broke that zone and kept on running. That's why when it breaks the zone, you don't want to just get into it all the time because it can come back and bite you. But sometimes, you know, it'll break the zone and keep running. But it broke this one, came back up, tested. Now it stayed in this zone. It tested at the bottom, couldn't handle it, broke it. All right. See, there's no real test, comes back, plays. All right, bam, now we're in it. Now it's in it. It's been closing, opening, closing in it. It came up and it's still in this zone. You see it's still in between these two. I wouldn't get into it till it confirms to me which one is going to do. So it might come back down here and test here again because it wasn't really too many good, clean tests down here. But I wouldn't get into this trade till it at least tests here or comes back up to here and tells me what it's going to do up here. If it comes up here and tests up here, I would put a sell trade in. But I'm going to watch it because I don't want it to come test, come back down here, test, and then break out. But if you put your support and resistance right here, you can have, you know, when it comes there to touch, here's the support and resistance. So that'll be TP1 would be like 9 pips. All right. And I see another support and resistance right there. So your TP2 would be 21 pips or 22 pips. And then, of course, your TP3 should be right here where it's supposed to come to test. So your TP3 would be 34 pips, 35 pips. Like that would be your TP3. And I would get out of it after that until it tells me something that's going to do. Let me see. So we got GL, we got USD. Let's get some more pound pairs and let's see what GBP, JPY talking about. Is anybody lost? Confused? Everybody good? I don't know. See, they was talking about all the internet stuff. Verizon been throttling my internet back for a long time. I don't know what y'all talking about. been part of that. All right. Once again, we're going to start with our daily. See how big daily is for GBP JPY? It looks small, but that's 2,000 pips. 2,200 pips. That's 2,300 pips. It's 3,000 pips. That's why I love these type boys when you can find them good. All right, let me put my text. To 4 hours. More tunes. All right, so look, even with this 1 hour daily resistance, we're talking about 600 pips. That's why you got to love this thing. 450, 500. So we're talking about some big pips. I like to hear. Oh. All right. And we can add our text. 4 hour. So you can either go down, to like 1 hour, and definitely you can go down to 30 minutes and stuff with this pair because it's going to give you a return. All right, we go down to an hour. All right, we're here, 1 hour. All right. So you could play these 1 hours. As you can see, you're talking about 130 pips, 68 pips, 120 pips. So it's a lot of pips to be gained right there that you can gain quickly. But as you guys know, these type pairs can move not in your favor all the time. Oops. I don't know. See, this is in consolidation. I don't really know. It's in consolidation at 30 minutes. See if it is 2 hours. Dang. All right, so once again, I wouldn't really jump into this one yet. I'm trying to figure out what it's going to do. I don't know which way this one is. In the middle. Iffy. I'll wait till it gets to one of my support and resistance lines. So what I did was I put trend lines on it. So as you can see back here in the 2 hour window, there's an uptrend that's going on, but it broke the trend line. All right. So I'm trying to see if it's going to start forming the downtrend. If it continues to come down here to test this line, then yes, it's starting this downtrend. It should test it, come back, hit my trend line, and start testing, and hopefully come down to the next line and the next line. So if you really got into this trade at the right time, you're potentially talking about 300 plus pips. You see, it tested our daily or this is our 4-hour support. It tested right here. I don't know if that, you see it closed. No, it didn't. You see this wick right here? It came all the way through. So it never really closed over top of the support. All the wicks are right here. So it came back. It's still treating this as support and resistance. So it came, resisted, and now it's coming back down. It resisted our, I think this is 1 hour. Our 1 hour. Can I label it? Nope. It's got to be our 1 hour. So it came and checked our 1 hour, resisted it. So we don't know if it's going to come back and test it again. But if it tests like right here and starts going down our trend line, we know we might have a good sell trade going in. But once again, you're not chasing it. You need to let it come to you. Let it tell you what it's going to do. This is how you limit your risk. Because if you have this line right here and you already know that it should be coming to test that, like, let's limit your risk. And even if you can't figure out how to limit your risk with Fibonacci, let's be smart. So remember, I told you it's not a line of where it is. So I have my support and resistance right here. Okay. So I'm going to go to my rectangle, and I notice right here that it closed with a wick. So then I'm looking here. Look, these wicks right here tested off something right there. Right. So now I have my support in my stop loss meter. You see these wicks tested right here, right on that line. I don't know if you guys can really see them that well, but it tested right there. So when I go to get in this trade, bam, I want to get in when it touches here. And now I'm risking 21, 22 pips. If it goes wrong, just take me out. Like, I'm okay with losing that. I live to play another game. See, if you were in here, right here, you know, you would have had your 20 pips. It looked like it probably didn't hit 20. You could have been in for your sell trade right here. Bang. Could have made quite a bit of money. Talking about just right there, that's 228 pips that you could have gained.
Travis, can you zoom in on your screen for a second so we can see what, like, see the pips a little, I mean, not the pips, the wicks a little bit better, and then zoom back out?
Probably had to go all the way down to like a minute. Well, I could do the, where the hell? See, now I can't. That's the only thing. I can't see my lines. So when you guys do these boxes on like the 4-hour view, all right, when you go back here and you do, oh shit, I gotta get out of the zone. I mean, shoot. All right, so look, let me go to here, right? So when you go to put your boxes, and then you want to highlight your pip touches, now I've highlighted my pip touches. Now I want to zoom in. All right, now you see it? You see where the pip hit it to the pip? Remember, this is a box, so of course when you come down to like a minute, so this is really like we're looking into it zoomed in, but you can adjust it to the pip because of course I can't see to the pip. But you would move it like, okay, that's there. Too far zoomed up to get my box. Yeah. But now I would slide my box down to like right here. Because you see I have about 3, 4 of them that tested right there. That would be my bias. But the shorter the time frame, the more precise you can get it. I like to move on quick. So like I said, 30 minutes is the smallest time frame I'll go in to make things a little more precise. But you see, things are kind of like enough. It's precise enough that I can tell kind of to the pip. So I'm waiting for this to come back. I could move this down a little bit. Need to keep that there, but I could, on the other end, move this down so it could touch down a little more right here. But you always got to keep using all your tools, like your highlighters, your rectangles. This is what's going to help perfect you, because you're going to start seeing this stuff. If you don't put these, and remember, you don't always have to go there, so you can right click on one, hit clone, and move it. Right? Because you want to see this stuff. If you don't have it labeled on your charts, you're not going to see it. You're going to keep thinking that you see it.
Travis.
Yeah.
Do you use the moving average on any of these things too, or you just keep it simple like this?
I mean, you always use the moving average or RSI. It's just another checklist. Me personally, I don't. But like I said, use your checklist.
Okay.
You should have at least minimum 3 checklists on every chart that says, yes, that's true. So even if you're coming to your harmonic scanner, let's see what's on the scan. All right, CADJPY. All right, let's see why it told us, and it's already on the move. Everything on the move. All right, let's just look at CADJPY. Shit. How does it keep doing that? I didn't know you sold up. All right, let's see what it's talking about. See, I wanted to find one that's like really in a trend so I could put it in the. So this is what you want to try to get. A nice parallel channel. Oops, I always do it backwards. So you see, if you would have got that in the channel, I mean, you probably would have had it in this channel right here. But now you can play the channel, right? It's on a trend. You can tell that it's on a trend. You could play that channel. But once again, this is a day channel. So I'm sure if we went down, well, it looks like it's in consolidation. So it's kind of hard for me to tell like which way it's truly going to go in. That's why you don't want to chase trades. Like, you set these charts up to let it come to you. Don't go chasing after it. It's okay not to have trades for a day. Because guess what? You didn't lose no money. And when you get nice at pitchforks, this is all you really need. But this takes extra work. Like, so let me go back to my support and resistance. How many? I feel like labeling stuff. Oops. All right. Remember, daily support and resistance is your strongest. All right. And you got to play around with everything. You know, don't just rely on one. So all I'm doing is making sure, like, if the Elliott wave is true, the distance should be kind of close to each other. And see, this is kind of a little too far off of me. So it's saying 189 to 235, 240. pretty off. This one's kind of on. So you're saying 357 to 429. Nope. Yeah, I gotta wait till this one gets out of consolidation. So I wouldn't use the Elliott wave test this one, because of course it's not testing right. So I always want to use my support and resistance in my Fibonacci. Yeah, I think y'all get the gist of it. Use your, well, what the hell did it tell us to do? Let me see, it told us to buy at 87,374. What chart is that on? 1 hour. I believe I made that 1 hour. Here's your take profit. 88526. So you see they're kind of telling you your take profit 3 is right up here, this daily support and resistance. It would be in that box. I think it said 88536. Take profit 3, 88526. 885. About right there. So see, you would draw that box. So they're telling you your take profit is here, which is right near your daily support and resistance. So that box would be your key. Once it enters that box, you have to draw a box everywhere. Remember, it's not a line, it's a box. So I'm saying that daily support and resistance line is right here. They're telling you your take profit 3 is right here. Really what it wanted you to do is get right here, bam, and ride this up. But of course, the scanner didn't pick that up. Well, yeah, that's right where it hit. It hit our support and resistance line right here and went up. But just get in the habit of your swipe trades, your web analyzer, use the RSI behind it and the MAC. Like, you can't have enough tests. How about that? The more you do tests, the better you're going to get. But if you're not marking these charts up like this and you're not seeing what's going on, you won't understand this. So I want you guys to start doing charts like this and going back and posting them in the Facebook group chat. I can see these, Whitley can see these. We can help make sure you guys are understanding what's going on. But if you're not doing these like this, there's no way that I'm going to be able to help you. And if you're not adding text in your boxes with your circles, like, take the time out. Yes, it's going to take some time in the beginning, but I promise you, just like riding a bike, you'll start to get better and better with repetition. But please, 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 I beg of you guys to do this. It's going to make you a better trader. It's going to make you so much more money. And then when those swipe trades come out, like we was all hurt last night, I was hurt too, because it completely went outside my box. But hey, it happens sometimes. But at least I could say that I was prepared for that on my own. I really didn't need to swipe trade. I don't know where all my markings go. Maybe I don't hit save somewhere or something. Willie, is there a save button on this thing? She's still on here? I don't think she's on here. Dang. All right, but do you guys have any questions for me? Want me to go over anything else?
The Elliott wave thing, I kind of got it when you had dropped a 5 down there. I didn't really understand that part. Because when I looked at the video, he kind of did it a little different.
You said drop to 5?
Yeah, when you, on the Elliott wave, the 5, you brought the 5 all the way down to the entry point, right?
Dang, what pair was that?
The one you was just doing just now.
CADJPY.
Off the harmonic scanner, whichever one you was on the harmonic scanner. Yeah, that one right
the
there.
5. All right, so remember, I'm trying to. I think that I caught the scan, right? So if I caught the Elliott wave correctly, this is my 0. I got to swing low, back to a swing high. Swing low, back to a swing high. This is where I'm predicting my swing low to come to. Like, I'm predicting for it to come here. If it will follow its true path, it might stop right here.
Gotcha.
Remember, I told you the numbers didn't come up like how I like them when I was adding the pips. Like, that's 361 pips. That's 297. That's a 60 pip difference. I really don't like this Elliott wave test on here. So you talking about from here
because
to here?
One has to be stronger than the other, right?
Say that again?
The 1 to the 2 has to be shorter than the 3 to the 4, right?
Nah, you want them to be kind of close.
Okay.
I'm saying close in pip range, yes. So if this number 4 was up here with this number 2, no way. This is definitely not an Elliott wave, because your 4 needs to be lower than your 2 down here, but the distance in pips should be kind of similar.
Gotcha.
And that's how I'm able to say I believe 5 is going to come down here, because all I'm doing is I'm simply taking it, looking at it. I'm saying, okay, 370 pips. So when I'm looking back at my leg, it should be somewhere in there, 370 pips.
Okay. So you taking the average of the moving average and then kind of deciding how far down to go with number 5?
Nah, I'm not taking no average. I'm just seeing it. Like, so if you remember when I drew it, I just seen it and drew it. Like, I'm drawing it like I see it. And I'm really looking for one of my support and resistance to put it on. It just so happened once I do put it on one of my support and resistance, I want to go back and measure. Like, that's all I did. I just looked at it. I kind of got a pattern. It's at my support and resistance. Okay, I like it at the support and resistance. I like the pattern. Now I just want to double check to see if my numbers are matching. If my numbers aren't matching, I know that's not a good Elliott wave.
Okay.
So let me see if this one probably came to Elliott wave. All right, and see, that one should have went up there, right? So let's see. That's 400. That's 400. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're kind of matching in size frames. What is this? Oops. 845. That's 617. So you see, this wasn't a good Elliott wave, and as you can see, it didn't follow the Elliott wave.
Right.
So that wouldn't be a test that you could put on there for that one. Like, don't force the test either. Like, if the test ain't there, it ain't there.
Right. Yeah, I want to try to learn this Elliott wave because the guy was saying that that's one of the better ways to judge the.
You want to get solid tests. You don't want to just rely on the Elliott wave. You don't want to just rely on the RSI. You want to have 3 to 4 tests to confirm. Because now it's a little more, it's like, all right, that's probably right. But don't just take one test, it confirms, and you be like, oh, well, Elliott wave lined up, it's working. Like, nah.
No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it like this, as far as he was just saying that's one of the better ways to be able to judge the market. So that's one of the better indicators to use along with whatever else you use. But yeah, he was using more than just the Elliott wave.
Yeah, if you can catch a good Elliott wave, then I mean you struck gold. So it's the Elliott waves work, but you gotta find it. You don't ever force the Elliott wave.
Yeah.
And you always want to do trend lines too. Trend lines are clutch because I mean, look, if I just take this trend line. You could have been trading off the trend line. Remember, the trends are our friend. Yeah. And anytime you can get a good trend, you can make a clone of the trend line, and it should kind of match up along, somewhere around here. We go from a swing low. It'll stay in your parallels. And that's how you make your parallel channels. You can see this one kind of broke that parallel channel. And I could have drew a better trend line too. Oops. But those are all the type things that you want to play around with. Your trend lines, your Fibonacci. Definitely Fibonacci is huge. So remember, if you were doing this one, you want multiple Fibonacci's from. And definitely when you use Elliott wave, right? So you definitely want to use your Fibonacci with Elliott wave. Now, I'm not saying this is right, but let's say, I had my Elliott wave here. I definitely want to lay a layer of the Fibonacci on every one. So this is my first one. Now I want to take another Fibonacci and draw it right back to here. Now I want to take another and draw it right back to here. And then those that overlap, those are strong support lines. And you just clean this up, clean up the charts for each one. But you see like this right here, this box is a strong support line. Like this right here, strong. I got all 3 Fibonacci's right there that I drew. That's strong right there. And you don't want to make this box like this. This isn't a box. That's too big. But all up in here, strong. Okay.
All right.
Any other questions?